What's up, guys? Yeah, welcome back to my channel. Uh, I gotta tell you though, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world today. I'm gonna get to the two stories that I want to read for for today's post. But yesterday I had gotten some horrible news while I was at work about a coworker of mine. I don't know if any of y'all, my viewers, have heard about this because it made big news yesterday here in Georgia. But okay, I'm gonna set this up. He was on his way to work. It's 4 o'clock. He had to be here by 4:30. 4:05, he got a call from the son of his daughter saying that he was going to kill her and his little sister. He was already at work by that time, and he ran out of here after he got that call saying he had to go. And by the time he got to the house, they were already gone. I was pretty messed up yesterday because, at first I thought they were saying it was his son that killed his stepfather out of resentment, which was my interpretation on the situation. But it was her son that did it to her and his little sister. He was an exemplary military guy. He was an air traffic controller. He knew the Bible very well. He was an all-around nice guy, according to his parents. Yet he did that, and my mind was like on a roller coaster ever since yesterday. So it's crazy. Trying to keep my coworker in my thoughts, about what happened to him because he lost his entire family. But there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world today. But I was just upset, and we had grief counseling at work and everything. I spoke my piece about it. So I'm waiting to see what the funeral arrangements are going to be, because I would definitely go to support him. Because, like I said, I've known this man for a lot of years. We talked, we laughed about a lot of stuff, and the day it happened, the day before it happened, we was smiling, happy, all kinds of stuff, and then this happened. And the daughter was only 10 years old, and I knew his wife too. She worked at the same job I worked at. We all worked together in the same building. Well, not together, but like I said, in the same building. So, one minute you're here, 1 minute you're gone. It's crazy. But anyway, today's story is going to be about Jonathan Betts and Dwight Allen Riggs. This one I want to read first is about Jonathan Betts. He went missing on 10/20/06 in Saguaro National Park, Arizona. He was 32 when he disappeared. He was like 5'10", 190 pounds. It appears Jonathan Betts drove his Mazda protege to Saguaro National Park. According to the receipt found in the vehicle, Jonathan paid up, entering and stamping stamp shows he arrived at 4 p.m. After a 3-day search of the park, searchers eventually found his vehicle. The car was parked at the Loma Verde Loop Trail, slightly off the main road. Jonathan was an avid hiker. His parents are from the East Coast, and he was a student at Pima Community College. Law enforcement states that there were no indications of foul play. An extensive search of the park and his residence failed to uncover any evidence of his location. Jonathan's body has never been found. Okay, now as far as this case, it's a simple outing. He loved to hike. The main thing he was out there to do was to either hike or camp. But it's small information on what he was actually out there to do. They just know that he went into that area with his vehicle, and it just showed that he was in the area due to his receipts and all that stuff. They wasn't aware of anything else when he was there, because they didn't mention anything about his supplies. So just the fact that this is the weird part about all this. Just the fact that a person just disappeared on his way somewhere between point A and point B is the most spookiest part of all these cases, because there's no who, what, where, when, and how, and why. Never. There's no residual evidence that it just happened to be lying around. There's never any eyewitnesses to what may have happened to him, even if it was something that they saw from a distance. Like, say, if you're in a certain area and you're looking down in this ravine and you see a road that he may be traveling on, like maybe on a trail or something like that, and all of a sudden you see him like just vanish, in the thin air, like as if he walked into some type of like invisible wall or void. You don't see any of that, even if it's from a distance, because it's just so well put together on how these people are being taken, and it always looks like it's by the hands of nothing. They just walk into whatever, and they either never come back or they're found dead, half naked with no evidence of death on their body, and their bodies are always pristine, like as if they were just placed there no more than a couple of minutes ago, minutes before you actually found the body. It's the weirdest thing. You could be in a marshy area or a very wet area. It may have rained a lot the day before, and the body is actually dry. So that right there alone is a crucial point in all these cases as to why that's even happening. That's impossible for you to be in a wet area, but your body is dry. So people either take the time to keep the body dry when it's raining, by keeping it somewhere under cover, and then it brings it out into the wilderness and place it anywhere, in the area. So, but yeah, I wish there was a lot more on this case, with Jonathan Betts. But like I said, it just showed that he paid to enter this Saguaro National Park. They didn't say that he had gear for hiking or anything. They just said that, he went into that area. And there's no evidence of what he actually was there to do. He could have been there for hiking. He could have been there for camping, hunting. But obviously, either he didn't have any gear, or it says he was an average hiker, but they didn't mention anything about his gear, so he didn't have anything. Obviously, they didn't find anything, so it's apparent that all of his gear was taken with him. If he was never found, obviously, wherever he went, he can't come back. And it was one of those one-way ticket type deals where you walk into some invisible portal or void, and then poof, you can't get back. It closes, and that's it. He has to live out the rest of his life somewhere unknown to him. And he probably knows where he is now. He's probably used to it, but that's the craziest part. This person, the people that disappear and never come back, they have to live with the fact for the rest of their life that they never see their family again, they never see their kids, they never see their wife, their friends, nothing. Everything that they were born into as far as their own life on this planet, on this plane, is completely eradicated from their life. Very, very weird. Very sad. Okay, next story is about Dwight Allen Riggs. He went missing on 01/21/09 in rural Pima County, Arizona. Same place. And he was 61 when he disappeared. He was about 5'11" and 175 pounds. Now, Dwight Riggs lived in a rural area on the outskirts of Tucson, Arizona. His residence abutted an area between the Santa Catalina Mountains and Saguaro National Park, an area that can be quite remote. This is also an area where a number of people have gone missing. Dwight had a deep interest in archaeology and took daily hikes in the mountains behind his house. He was last seen on January 21st, 2009, but not reported missing for several days. Law enforcement does not believe foul play was involved in his disappearance, but they cannot explain where he might be located. Now, in the summary portion of this chapter, is saying that this disappearance of longtime NPS, that's National Park Service Ranger Paul Fougier, is one of the all-time great mysteries that still haunt the National Park, the Park Service. We do hope that Paul's family and friends have resolution to this case. The disappearance of William Cisco, who disappeared on 06/12/94 while prospecting in Happy Valley, and the disappearance of Donald Schellenberger, who disappeared on 7/3/94 from Mount Lemmon, occurred too close together in location 15 miles apart, and in time 21 days, to not be considered related in some way, although detailed information on each case is not available. The dates and locations are suspiciously similar. And okay, now from 1938 to 1967, 5 boys disappeared, two 5-year-olds and 2 at 2 years old. 1 boy's age is unknown, all in a 7-year span. The disappearance of Paul Fougier changed the demographic of the people missing in Arizona, and the ages increased dramatically. There hasn't been a person reported missing under the age of 32 that fits our criteria since 1967. What happened to change this dynamic? Now, these are the words of David Paulides himself about all the cases. Now, going from that, it is kind of weird how the patterns, they jump around a lot, from ages to the years, and it's crazy. It goes from like 2 to like 67, and it just jumps all over the place, back and forth between the ages. And then you got a lot of college men that are being taken or killed, and the funny thing about those cases is that they all end up starting from them being at a bar. Well, they begin at them being at a bar, and they end with them being face down in a dry creek bed or an actual creek bed or near a river with hardly any clothes on, with the indication of a Hawaiian folklore with the night marchers, where you have to actually remove your clothing and bury your head in the sand as a show of respect for the night marchers. And if you don't do that, they will kill you, especially if they see you before you see them. So they also say you have to, pee on yourself and smell like an animal and run, like hop around like a dog or something like that. It's a lot of weird stuff. But like I said before, it's just really strange how a lot of these cases have all of these different characteristics from all these folklores around the world that's embedded into the evidence of these cases. These are being shown at every turn when somebody turns up missing. Okay? The eating of the human, where there's nothing left but bones, no blood, no guts, no nothing, not even brain matter on the ground. Everything is devoured. And the only person I could think of that could do something like this, not person, but only creature I think of that could do something like this, is a werewolf or some type of creature that can swallow a body whole and chew it up, digest what it can, and spit out what's left, which would be the bones. You know, that's the only thing I could even fathom as far as how these people are being eaten. Because an animal can't do that, a lion can't do that, a tiger. No wild animal can do something like that. They chew on the body, they even bury it and cover it with dirt, or they basically cover it with dirt mostly, just to preserve it for later. Okay, I don't know how they're able to do that, because if you put dirt on a body, it's still gonna smell, especially if it's been sitting there for a while. But that's what the animals do. They cover it with dirt and they preserve it for later. But they chew on the body. They may even gnaw at it and probably pull off some of the limbs, maybe, because that happened to this one little boy where his whole body was just gnawed in half. It was like one animal after another, just chewing at his body, But the body was still found. That means that they can't or don't, devour the body like that. It can't be done unless there's some type of creature that can actually just come down on the body, swallow it whole, and chew it up, and then spit out the bones. That's what happened. That had to happen. That had to have been what happened to little Jared Atadero, and other people that have been whose bone fragments have been found. I mean, even though there's no evidence of what of that happening, that still doesn't mean that couldn't be, that there wouldn't be a fact in these cases. You just got to be able to think outside the box. But the facts and the way people think nowadays, that it's never really a factor in any of this. So, but yeah, that's all I got today on this post. Got good news. I finally got a chance to order A Sobering Coincidence, one of his other books. Okay, I just went on ahead and paid that $78. So it was priority shipping for like $53, and that's how much it would have been after the $24.95. So, and then after taxes and all that stuff, it came up to $78. And I live here in Georgia, so it's within the United States. Anyway, like I said, I got that, and even though you may not have heard, I don't know if you did or not, about my friend and my coworker, keep him in his thoughts. He needs all the prayers he can get at this point. Because I've always heard that, group prayers is very good, for miracles and everything. And I'm definitely going to be keeping him in my thoughts, and I'm definitely going to say a prayer for him. So, without further ado, I gotta go. It's almost time for me to get ready for work. So, aloha, mahalo, and ahuiho. Peace out, guys. Stay blessed.